What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Hustle Decoded Entrepreneurship from the Ground Up. My name is Kelvin. I am the founder and CEO of the Hustle Decoded. And look, usually what we do is we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about personal development, we talk about things that are going to help you in those business endeavors that we want you to have. We talk about all those things that are going to help you out. But I would be remiss if we did not talk about this election. We talk about current events every now and then and look at the data, and I try to find solutions that can help entrepreneurs in those current events. But we can't skip this. The reason why we can't skip this is because that's what everybody is talking about, and we are going to talk about it just the same. Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, because you see what the article is, do me a favor. If you want to listen to personal development, entrepreneurship from the ground up, current events, and what you can do as an entrepreneur and things of that nature, hit that like button, subscribe, comment below. Let us know how we're doing. I'm doing this because there's things that the mainstream media is not talking about, and I wanted to give little data points here and there that'll give us clues as to whether or not we will be having a new president, or is the current president going to maintain office? I think, a lot of people are feeling a little leery when it comes to the polls, and I wanted to give some data points that are going to allow us to look into what we should see in terms of who may or may not be president here in the next few days. I will be putting up a lot of content between now and Tuesday because I am fascinated by this stuff, and I know you are too. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how I'm doing when it comes to these data points. So I looked at the UK Mail Online, and just to put a little bit of context here, I was trying to look at Fox News, which is a right-leaning, right or conservative-leaning site. They didn't mention anything of it. So looked at the Daily Mail. Daily Mail is coming out of the UK, and that's a good perspective. It's right in the middle. It's from the outside looking in, talking about this subject, and I just wanted to show what a trend, right? And again, it'll give us an idea of what is taking place or what may or may not take place come election day, right? And beyond. So, as you guys can see, Trump rails against Fox, quote unquote, lost Fox News for giving Joe Biden too much coverage during his Michigan rally, and jokingly mocks politically correct Laura Ingraham for wearing a mask in the crowd. Now, you guys can have your opinions either way, but it's the current president having his issues with Fox News, right? And it isn't just Fox News. Get out of this stuff. I'm on the New York Post now. I'm sorry. Let me get out of this stuff. Drudge Report, traffic plunges as content turns against Trump. For those of you who aren't familiar with these websites, or not familiar with watching this content because you may have leaned the other way or you're just not aware, the Drudge Report is a conservative leaning site. Okay. And it tends to lean Republican 99% of the time. Okay. This is the New York Post that is putting this article out, and the New York Post is another right-leaning site. There's a lot of ads left and right. They're trying to get paid. And I'm looking at an article over here. We will do a video on this right now because, let's be honest, that right there is going to also be a contributing factor as to what may or may not happen on election day, but I digress. But Matt Drudge, he has made a conservative site, and that site, again, leans all the way to the right. Drudge Report, over the last, I want to say, month or so, no, I would say over the last probably about 3 or 4 months, it has really turned against the current president of the United States, right? And a lot of it is stemmed, if you want to go back into like kind of revisionist history type thing, uh, it's all kind of started from earlier in the year and come some of the pushback on some of the with some of the pundits that are on uh, Fox News, particularly Chris Wallace, and the first debates and stuff like that. And ever since about the first debates that took place, there's pretty much been a huge divide amongst uh, conservatives as far as how to proceed in covering uh, covering the president here nor there. But the data that I wanted you guys to really look at, and again, I don't really have any numbers, but this is what you guys have to really look at. So again, this is from the outside looking in when it comes to Fox News, because Fox News just isn't going to report it. And then New York Post isn't from the outside looking in, but it's right leaning, looking at a conservative site and talking about how the conservative site is flipping away. So the point that I'm trying to get here is that conservative media outlets are starting to pull away from the current president. There's no numbers to back this stuff up that I can find, at least in the interim. If I do find those, I will be sure to post an update on those. If somebody wants to help me out with this, please do me a favor and comment below. Because again, this is just objective data that is going to allow us to get a glimpse as to what is going to take place election day, or should I say election week, because there's things that people really need to realize between now and Tuesday. We're not going to find out who the president of the United States is based on certain rules of certain states on how they can count votes, but we'll cover that in another video. But the problem that the name of this game in terms of the election, especially when you have an incumbent, is whether or not you can maintain your base or maintain your numbers in terms of the electoral college and so on the road to 270. You need 270 electoral college numbers in order to either maintain or win the presidency of the United States, right? And I've just showed you on two separate sites where conservatives are having issues amongst themselves, pulling away from the current president of the United States, regardless of how you feel, regardless if you're team blue, team red, independent, whatever your your stance is. This alone is showing a fracturing amongst team red in certain respects. So can you maintain your numbers? Can you maintain your base throughout this? And just given those two sites alone, and there's others, you can see that those things do not bode well for the current president of the United States. Again, this is regardless of what your political leanings are. These are just some of the numbers that the mainstream media is not really talking about, but these are going to give you some of the insights as to what may or may not happen come election day. You should look at the other videos in regards to numbers and the election stuff and the numbers that mainstream media is not talking about. You'll find them extremely interesting. And if you do, hit a like button on those. Hit the like button on this as well. Subscribe if you haven't had the opportunity. Because again, we're talking about current events right now because this stuff is extremely fascinating. But comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are, team red or Republican, let me know if this is something that you're kind of feeling as well. I just put a couple of these articles up because I want the numbers and some of the things that are kind of happening behind the scenes to give you an idea where you should go when you have a business and stuff like that, or when you're going on an entrepreneurship journey. There's a lot of detail, and the numbers will tell you a lot. And in terms of the presidential election, this is no different. The numbers are going to tell you a lot. I know people are not exactly hip to the polls, or not feeling the polls since the 2016 election. I totally understand that, but there's different numbers that you guys need to look at that is still going to tell the story of where things may or may not go. And just kind of as a side note, those numbers told you exactly where things were going to go in 2016 as well. But again, if you guys want to look at this stuff, or if you guys want to see more content like this, or content that's going to help you in personal development or entrepreneurship, hit that like button, subscribe, comment below, guys. Let me know what you think about the stuff that I'm talking about today. Again, this is the Hustle Decoded, Entrepreneurship from the Ground Up. My name is Kelvin, and with that, I'm out.